Thanks, Lloyd. Thanks to the Chamber. Thanks to Cloverwood for hosting this event. Thanks to all of you for supporting it with your presence this morning. One of the distinguishing characteristics of Pittsford, of this community, is the extraordinary level of cooperation among the leaders of the three municipal entities, our school district, our village, and our town. We have a leadership team, not just in a loose sense. We actually meet together regularly, the superintendent, the village mayor, and the town supervisor, to see how we can mutually help out each other. Think about Mike Piro's report. How many times did you hear the words first, best, top? It is not possible to give an honest report about the state of our school district, the state of this village, or the state of this town without those words recurring over and over again, as you will hear in my presentation. And that is no accident. That is because of the people with the right ideas and the right commitment, working together in common purpose for the benefit of the whole community. So what's the state of the town of Pittsford? Well, those of you who are familiar with my thinking know that my take on that is that's for our residents to be telling me. What I can do is to tell you about what the administration I lead has done and is doing, accomplishments, initiatives and policy decisions to serve the best interests of our residents. The town services that are the bread and butter of municipal government. About what we're doing to maintain and improve the quality of life, to continue and support the way of life that we enjoy and expect in Pittsford. Those things I can report on. That and the values that guide us to keep Pittsford one of the best places to live and raise a family in the state of New York. Let's begin with a fundamental. Every taxpayer in Pittsford has a reason to be happy this year. The town budget I proposed for 2019 and was adopted cut town taxes, both the town tax levy and the town tax rate, reducing the rate by 6.6%. Our town tax in Pittsford remains proportionately low. Of every dollar a Pittsford resident pays in property tax, less than 9 cents is town tax. To state it differently, if the only property tax you had to pay was just the tax payable to the town, your property tax bill would be less than 1/10 of what it is today. And of the 18 towns in Monroe County, Pittsford has the 7th lowest tax rate. And if you exclude from that comparison those towns that get a lot of revenue from landfills or extensive and intensive commercial development, much more extensive and intensive than Pittsford's, we're the 5th lowest out of 18 towns. And at that, Pittsford provides municipal services that other towns don't offer. Weekly pickup of leaves and yard debris, extensive recreation programming, a town finance library, to mention just a few. Now, we cut taxes and we not only maintain services, but we improve them. We increased funding for road repair. Now we can resurface more roads each year and get to more neighborhoods faster. We can get to your neighborhood faster. We added 2 new positions in our highway department to allow quicker response to residents' requests. We fully funded the budget request for this year for Pittsford Youth Services. We can do these things and cut taxes through painstakingly careful financial management. Now, I can tell you this, but it's another thing altogether when investment professionals recognize it as well. People whose livelihood and reputation depend on their ability to call these things correctly. And once again, since I last reported to you in the state of the town, Moody's Investor Services has confirmed the town of Pittsford's AAA credit rating. And with apologies to Mike, the AAA is the highest credit rating possible. And Pittsford alone. And Pittsford alone, the only town in the entire state of New York, north of Westchester and Putnam counties, to have earned it, year after year. Now, financial management, both in its practices and the resulting financial posture of the town government, are not the only factors investment professionals evaluate in rating a municipal government. They'll look also at the tax base, for example. They'll look at demographic characteristics like average income and home values. Understand that there may be as many as 50 other towns north of Westchester and Putnam where those characteristics are similar to Pittsford's or even exceed them. But only Pittsford has that highest AAA credit rating. We must be doing something right. It's right for our residents. With our credit rating, when we issue bonds for projects like the new athletic fields or the community center, for any project we fund through bond financing, our residents pay the lowest interest rate possible. A few years ago, we were able to refinance the bonds that funded issued in 2005 that funded the construction of the Pittsford Community Library at a lower interest cost to taxpayers because Pittsford has the highest credit rating possible. It's not just a report card on good government. It's a tangible benefit to the people who pay the taxes in this town. Now, unless you've lived as a hermit for the past 5 years or only just moved to town, you'll know something of Pittsford's leadership in protecting our environment and promoting sustainability. That commitment goes back decades. Our Greenprint plan in the mid-1990s preserved 2/3 of the then remaining farmland in the town. That's the initiative that first got me involved in local government. The state has designated Pittsford as a clean energy community. That was in 2017. We earned it through high-impact sustainability practices, and that in turn made us eligible for state grant money to pay for projects to reduce energy use and carbon emissions, to cut costs, and to drive the use of clean energy locally. We competed. We won. We won the maximum grant of $50,000, and that's going to fund another electric vehicle charging station and a solar array to power the lodges at Kings Bend Park. On a similar note, ever since I learned about the concept of community choice aggregation, maybe 2 or 2.5 years ago, I was interested in it as an option for Pittsford. Now, to summarize it as succinctly as I can, community choice aggregation, CCA as we call it, lets a municipality leverage the combined buying power of all its residents to obtain electricity for all households from sustainable sources at a lower cost than they could obtain acting individually. The goal is to seek electricity from 100% renewable sources at a cost to residents less than the RG&E electricity rate. Leveraging the buying power of the whole community makes it possible. So leveraging multiple communities together should work even better. So in December, I joined with Supervisor Dave Seeley of Irondequoit and Supervisor Bill Maley of Brighton to announce that our 3 towns, together with the village of Pittsford, are moving forward together in a joint CCA program. The next step is to select a CCA administrator who will seek bids from electric power suppliers and administer the program. The towns and the village issued a request for proposals for this purpose a few weeks ago. We expect responses by April 5th. You can learn more on the CCA webpage at the town website. Now, the town's also been working on converting our streetlights from conventional lighting to LED lighting. It means less energy use. It means one more step to a sustainable future, and it pays for itself in the near term over just a couple of years through reduced energy and maintenance costs. We're working on this with the Genesee Finger Lakes Regional Planning Council on a proposal to present to the town board. For years, the policy of Pittsford has been to plant at least as many trees every year as we cut down. When you build a sidewalk, some trees have to be cut down. When there are trees that are about to fall over in a park, you have to cut them down lest they injure someone. Most years we plant many more trees than we cut down. And we took the State Power Authority to court to stop them from clear-cutting trees in the canal. Once more, when they came in with that plan, Pittsford was the first to say, not so fast. And we reached out to the other communities, nearby communities that would be affected, to Parrington and to Brighton, and had them join us in a suit that was argued in court by our town attorney, Robert Cagle, and we won. Now we want to bring the state to the table to work out a tree management program acceptable to our residents. Now, on another front, we want to make sure that we are paying attention to the needs and interests of our entire population of people in their retirement years or approaching them. Now, that's a much broader scope of our population than just the people who use and enjoy our senior center and our senior programs. The goal is for Pittsford to be as convenient and conducive as possible to continue enjoying life right here in Pittsford throughout your retirement years. It includes convenient access to information about relevant home services. It includes options for transportation. We're looking at the Elderberry Express, how it operates. It includes housing. Now, the town's draft comprehensive plan update calls for zoning law changes to make it easier in places where some kind of housing is going to be built, to build smaller homes with smaller or even no yards and more closely clustered together. In our recent public input session of the comprehensive plan, I proposed including as well changes to help make this kind of housing more reasonably priced, to make it an option for more retirees. For example, the town can offer builders not just greater density in siting houses, but can provide for changes in allowable lot coverage, setbacks, height, floor areas, and the like. Pittsford should be a place where lifelong living is a realistic option for everyone. Now, in the time allotted this morning, I have barely scratched the surface of everything that's going on at Town Hall in service to our residents. There's the comprehensive plan update, the East Avenue sidewalk that will finish by the summertime, our joint plan with the village to improve safe walkability and biking throughout Pittsford, called our Active Transportation Plan, the Canalside Nature Preserve, the composting program, our community garden, refuse districts. But there is another dimension to all of this. There's another dimension behind it, beyond the day-to-day, beyond the major projects and the smaller ones, beyond financial stewardship, beyond everything I've mentioned so far. It's about the values that motivate me and my team, me and the administration I lead, and inform our judgment and our actions in service to the people of Pittsford. Love of this community, loyalty to its residents, a vision of civic improvement that carries forward to future generations that distinctive bundle of characteristics that make Pittsford the place it is, that made it the place that every one of you wanted to move to. Yes, it's aesthetic beauty. Yes, it's historic character. Yes, it's schools and its services and its amenities, but fundamentally what makes a community are the people who comprise it. People of all backgrounds, all walks of life, all ethnic origins, of all faiths, and none of ancestry from countries around the world, and substantially united in many basic shared values of the kind of community they want to live in. About expectations for themselves and their neighbors, about the fundamentals and behaviors and habits of day-to-day life. The values we place on things like courtesy toward others, noise, the physical upkeep of houses in the neighborhood on which everyone's home value depends, education, engagement with neighbors, all other aspects of quotidian life that make for good or bad relations between neighbors. On these issues, there is a distinctive like-mindedness in Pittsford. Like-minded, with all the variety of backgrounds, faiths, ethnicities, and other characteristics, political views, like-minded when it comes to those close-to-home circumstances in which you want your family to live their lives day to day. And oh, do the people of Pittsford have it right. Pittsford is not just a place, but the place where people throughout this region aspire to live. And you will never, ever find me apologizing for that. I'm proud of it. I and the administration I lead are loyal to our residents. I'm proud of them and grateful for the way they make this community just that kind of home for all of us. This town administration is loyal to them, to those values they bring to Pittsford that define it. In our administration, the vision is for continual improvement for all residents, continual improvement in the services we provide, keeping faith with those values, carrying forward and protecting that collection of unique characteristics that make Pittsford the place to be. Thank you.